In Brandon Campbell's illustrious athletic and coaching career, 6 records were broken at Cal State-Fullerton. A Big West 2001 Athlete of the Year award was handed down, and numerous records in the state of Missouri still hold. But in 2010, upon Brandon's arrival at Adams State as a coach, a national championship was won with the men's track and field team in the indoor ranks in 2010. Okay, so of all the above-mentioned accomplishments, which one are you most proud of?
Oh, man. I mean, are you talking athletically or my coaching career?
All the above.
I say it'd have to be the 2001 Big West Male Athlete of the Year.
Because you're participating in both basketball for Cal State-Fullerton and you're participating in track and field. So they're viewing all of your accomplishments. What level of surprise did you have when that award was handed to you?
I was shocked. I was on the bus already, and I heard everybody calling me off the bus. I didn't even know I won. I was just basically focused on scoring points for the team with a partially torn MCL in my knee. And I mean, it actually turned out to be the best weekend I ever had in track and field because that was the weekend I jumped 7.4 and 25.10. So, I mean, I wasn't too much worried about the accolades. I was just trying to do for my team and produce. And like I said, I was on the bus when they were giving the award out, and they had to call me back off.
Here you are in Orange County, St. Louis kid, and 11 years later, you're finally planning to depart Southern California. You're there from 98 to 2009, but here it is. Friday, September 11th, 2009, your last day in the office at Cal State-Fullerton before you leave for Alamosa, Colorado. When you look back on that day and what's transpired since then, how do you wrap your mind around all of it?
It was an easy decision. I mean, once I met David Martin, it was a done deal. My mind was made up. I knew I was coming to Alamosa. I was just excited to work for him. It was kind of a good situation because normally when you're being interviewed for a track and field position, you talk track and field, but our conversation about loyalty was all it took for me to sign.
You know, you could have stayed in Southern California where your name still rings out in the hallways of Cal State-Fullerton. People still know about you, your Hall of Fame level accomplishments, but you went to the unknown. When you're going somewhere where your personal accolades aren't as well known and it's just strictly coaching that you're known for, what level of excitement was created to take that challenge, to go somewhere where no one knew who BC was?
That's what I wanted. Sometimes when you work at a place or you coach at a place where, you know, you're an athlete, everybody expects certain things out of you. But here, I was new, so it was kind of like when I was coming in that everybody's like, well, what's he going to do? I mean, after that first year, they got a chance to see what I was capable of. Plus, for me personally, it was a chance for me to exploit some of my other talents in coaching the sprints. Everybody knows I was a sprinter, but at the last job, I was just a jumps coach. And I'm the type of person where I like to take on the whole load and not just do a fourth of it. So, I mean, it was a great experience for me to come here. And it, like I said before, it gave me a chance to exploit some other talents I have.
We're chatting with Adams State men's track and field assistant coach Brandon Campbell. You're a young guy, but just looking at the difference from your days in high school in 95 and 96, you know, your accomplishments on the basketball floor, well, everywhere except from the free throw line where you're a 55% free throw shooter. Just looking at the difference between athletes then and now, what do you think is something that really stands out to you compared to the 96, 97 days when you were getting ready to go to Fullerton and the kind of athletes that you encounter on a day-to-day basis nowadays?
I just try to promote the same things that I tried to use as an athlete. I mean, for 16 years straight, you know, I tried to have a competitive nature, and now I'm trying to give that back to the athletes. And, you know, I mean, it's kind of like Kobe Bryant with the Lakers, you know. You just try to have consistency, a competitive nature, the things outside of what belongs on the court or on the track, they don't matter. The only thing that matters is when you're on the court or on the track. I mean, you just got to give it your all, man. And, I mean, that's all I'm trying to get back to these athletes because they sometimes with all the knowledge that you're giving to them, it becomes frustrating. So a lot of people think that I just coach, you know what I mean? But it's way more than that. You got to be a motivator. You got to keep their minds right because, I mean, my mom always told me the mind controls the body, so no matter how athletic you are, if there's no IQ upstairs, then the outcome won't be what you wanted.
Well, I mean, let's get straight to it then. I mean, you're a sociology major. You have a degree in sociology. It's an element of athletics that is often underestimated, the ability to get inside someone's head. How is your expertise in psychology and sociology really come into play as a coach?
I mean, if you ask my athletes, they'll tell you that I play mind games with them. But I mean, in all reality, the only mind game I play is I tell them the truth. Sometimes they come to me and they look for me to sugarcoat some things, but I think that's a waste of time. I like to get straight to the point, tell them the truth, so that way they know how serious I am going, well, inside of practice and when we have meets as well.
You know what it takes to be a champion. You've coached a championship team at Adams State. There are championship aspirations for this 2012 team, especially for the women. What traits do you see that are similar, just from a team structure, from the 2010 team to the 2012 one that you're trying to build into a champion?
With my female athletes, I see a lot. I see the attitude that I competed with. I've watched them grow as young women. I try to tell them all the time it's more than just your performance. I mean, it's your appearance, it's how you carry yourself, it's how people perceive you in the public, and that's when those extra things get a chance to come along with the athleticism. Like take Indira Spence for instance. She's ran in the world championships, but I'm always talking to her about sponsorships and things like that. And me personally, I would love for her to get a sponsorship by Kleenex, because every time she gets ready to run, she has to run to the bathroom and grab some tissue because her nose is just always running. But there's options out there for them, and I think they're starting to see those things, and you can tell by the way they're acting, the way they're handling themselves in more of a mature fashion. But I'm proud of them.
You know she's going to see this. I mean, what do you think Indira's reaction is going to be after she sees her coach make a comment like this about Kleenex?
Hey, I mean, I hope she understands what I want her to have when she gets older. I mean, if you're the only person being sponsored by Kleenex, then that's an extra. I mean, a lot of people, they think everything's based off of the shoe companies. Well, I mean, you never know. Somebody might want her for a magazine ad one day. Kleenex might want her for a commercial one day.
Well, after watching some of the videos of her in the food market in Shenzhen, China, I know that pork legs and the various foods she was consuming at those markets will not be on her list. That was some of the best video from her experience, was her going to some of those very peculiar Chinese delicacies. And you see the experience she had in South Korea and China. It was exciting for us, but for you coach her almost year-round, and then it's like, go ahead, spread your wings, do your thing internationally, and you can still communicate with her. But from a difficulty level as a coach, to watch her in international competition and really have to let her do her own thing, how hard is that?
I actually didn't get a chance to watch it, so it was actually more nerve-wracking than it may seem, because I'm sitting by a computer and waiting on results to come out. And I mean, you can kind of pay attention to how much she's on her Facebook page, but I knew that she was focused because there weren't many comments being posted. So I figured she was off by herself. And when she got back, I thought that she would at least have someone out there, maybe a coach of the Jamaican team, helping her. And the main thing that stood out to me was when she said, I just kept up with everything that we've been doing throughout the year. And that showed a lot of maturity, because instead of going to ask for help, she used her mind. And that's what I was saying earlier about that IQ. Just watching her grow, that's the best part of it. And like I said before, man, I can never take responsibility for an athlete's athleticism and how they perform. I can just help give them the tools to perform their best.
How much closer are you to starting the edgy book that we have been discussing that would allow you to have a leg up on other coaches in the athletic community?
Me personally, I have a long way to go. I mean, I work for a guy who's written books and things of those nature, and it's just like every day I go in that office, I feel like I don't know as much as I think I do. And I think that that's good for me to have a boss like that, because I've worked other jobs besides coaching. I've run my own business with private coaching, and I've never had a mentor like him. And he's been in the game 25 plus years, and he said he wants to coach another 20 years. So I figure I'll be ready to write a book around 30 years of coaching, hopefully. But my goal is to try to get some of the accolades that he's had in his career, and it's motivation for me to be around him every day. And the tradition that he's built here is motivating me. I mean, I walk around here tired a lot, but I'm never down and out. I always got a smile on my face. I always try to be uplifting to my athletes, but like I said before, I try to make sure I tell them the truth as well.
It's bound to be an exciting spring for the ASC men's and women's track and field team, due in large part to the coaching of Brandon Campbell. BC, thanks for chatting with us.
Not a problem.
It's Brandon Campbell with ASC men's and women's track and field. For Grizzly Connect with KSPK, I'm Bryant Johnson.